Hi dancers, Jess here. Welcome back to the Whole Dancer YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about audition season recapping. This is a really important thing to do at the end of audition season. Odds are you may be feeling incredibly burnt out by the audition process. The timing of it is awful. You have a lot going on, usually if you're already in a company or even if you're in a school. This is a busy time of year. There's a lot of stress associated with the audition process. I think that one of the biggest things I offer to my audition coaching clients is support around the stress and mental challenges that come up during audition season. But one of the things I also encourage them to do at the end is to do a bit of a recap. So the first thing I want you to do is look at the positives. I like to start on that note. What went well? I'm sure you can come up with something, even if that feels challenging. And I know that sometimes it can. Even if all that went well is you put yourself out there, and I want you to give you lots of props for doing that because it's incredibly brave. This is a very scary process. Accepting this much rejection can feel debilitating and exhausting and like you've been knocked down, and how can you ever get back up from all of it? I fully remember these feelings, and I have been in the trenches with my clients for months, and it's exhausting, and it's so much. And a lot of times in auditions, you don't feel valued or respected or like they see anything in you. Whether you get cut or whether you advance or whether you're spoken to at the end, it doesn't mean really anything. And it's the kind of thing that can leave you questioning all the things. Am I on the wrong path? Am I good enough? Can I really do this? Is it going to happen for me ever? Is there a possibility that's coming ever? These are the kind of questions that I think a lot of us have towards the end of audition season if we've not gotten the outcome that we were hoping for. And then ask yourself, what are the lessons I've learned? What are the things that I can take away from this? Where is the strength I've built? Mentally, physically, or is there more support that I need next go around? And that's something I'll talk about more towards the end, but this is such an exhausting and challenging process that I'll say for parents of dancers as well, looking for support for your dancer as they go through this process can truly be a game changer. Not just in the outcomes, but also in the experience of going through it. Next, I want you to do some assessment for next audition season. The reality is most dancers are going to be auditioning for years before they land a more stable feeling job. It's hard to think about. And I think if you're at the beginning of it, it's hard to wrap your head around. And I think if you're a few years in, it is just that much more exhausting. But it is a reality that it can take years to get to a place where you're in the paid position, to get to a place where you feel like you're in the right place, and to, really discover where your best dancing environment is. So try to assess the process. One thing that I'm going to share that I'm going to do differently for my audition coaching clients next year is we'll still start around the same time. I sign on audition coaching clients in November and December, and then auditions start January, February, March, April. And yeah, that's pretty much it, right? So I sign audition coaching clients November, December, and they start putting together videos if they've not finished already, and then they begin sending out their stuff. And here's the thing. I encourage dancers to send their audition materials out to as many companies as possible. So some of them sent their stuff out to 40, 50, 60 plus audition opportunities, and that's a lot. And then you start getting no's back, and that's a lot. One thing I think that's really going to be helpful is to stagger the release of your audition inquiries and submissions. I don't want my clients to sit down one day and send out 50 things. I want them to look at the deadlines, and this is what I'll say to you as well. Look at the deadlines. The ones that have the earliest deadlines, group those together. Okay, I'm going to send out these 5 in the first week of January because they have a January 15 deadline. Some have late December deadlines. Just be aware of that. Not many, but like 1 or 2. So I'm going to send these out before their deadlines in January. Then I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to send the next 5 to 10 out in the couple of weeks at the end of January before their deadline in February. And then I'm going to send the next 5 to 10 out in March and late March. You have to be aware of some having limited numbers that they're accepting. So they may close out an audition if it fills up, if they're doing an open call, that kind of thing. So be aware of that. Don't delay on those. But any who are inviting people to company class, who don't have it put up by the end of the year, by the end of December, like just wait. Just let yourself wait. When you have more companies that you can send things out to, it gives you a greater capacity to feel like you're taking action consistently throughout the audition process. Whereas if you send out all your stuff in January, then there's a very long period of time where you're probably hearing nothing, or like hearing from one or two. If you stagger, it's always feeling active. It's always feeling like you're in the game. You feel like you're taking those next steps towards your goal. That's a big thing I'm going to encourage you to shift if you've done it that way, or for my clients, that's something I plan to shift for them in the future. Ask yourself if you need support that you didn't get. A lot of times it's tricky because many companies don't actually support dancers through the audition process, even though they can't guarantee any sort of employment, which is truly ridiculous. So think about what that experience was like, and if you need to take action in different ways in order to make sure that you're successful. So you might not be able to film during the season. That might mean I'm going to get really organized and I'm going to film my audition video in the summer. This is part of why I wanted to put out this video now as your audition recapping, because summer months, that might be a great time to film new audition footage and get it ready for next audition season. And again, that way it's all together, and the filming part doesn't have to be something that you stress about during those early months of the season, because there's a lot going on with Nutcracker, and that's also when people are trying to film audition videos. And you might feel like, oh, but what if I improve? You're going to improve, but it's not likely that you're going to improve by leaps and bounds that it would make such a significantly different video. If you go to a new company or pre-professional training program, and in a couple of months of that experience, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so much better than I was 2-3 months ago, by all means, film again. But for most of you, the footage you get over the summer, as long as you've still been, actively going to class and things like that, it's going to be just as good, if not better, because there's not the pressure of the timeline. There's not the pressure of the deadlines. It is so ahead of the game that you have the opportunity to make sure you feel really good about everything that you film. Ask yourself if you struggled with motivation, accountability, or mindset. All of those things can come up during audition season. We really do, like I said, start to question everything about ourselves as dancers and our value and worth. And those are things you can work on now. It's a great time to reach out for some balanced life wellness coaching. So even if you don't personally struggle with food or body image, which is what I do work on with a lot of dancers, but you say to yourself, my mindset was not in the right place for this audition experience, or I need someone keeping me accountable to my goals, keeping me on track, and talking me through the struggles that come up in the audition process or the audition preparation process. That's something we can start right now. So reach out if you're looking for that kind of support. We'll set up a complimentary call and I'll talk you through the next steps if it's the right fit. This is a big one and something that I talk about in my audition workshop, and yet even my own clients didn't seem to fully grasp this concept. The emails that you write to companies when they have on their website, these are the audition materials we want. Send us an email with your links and your resume and your photos. And that's all they say, right? They didn't ask for a cover letter, so you don't have to attach something separately. Well, in those cases, the body of your email should be a cover letter. If you sent your audition materials out this year and you just said, hi, so-and-so, attached you'll find my links to my video, my photos, and my resume. Thank you for your time. I hope to audition for you in the coming months or whatever. And that's it. It's fine, but it doesn't communicate that you are a mature job seeker looking for employment and what you have to offer them. That body of the email should be a cover letter. You should be conveying first what you're looking for. Hi, I'm interested in auditioning for this position with your company. Okay, get very honest and clear about what positions you're actually interested in. And then you say, why that company? Why is it of interest to you? Why do you want to work there? Why do you want to dance there? Why do you connect with them? What is it that you love about their rep? Or what do you admire about the artistic staff or the dancers? And you want to make sure that you include your personal strengths and attributes. I have this to offer. I'm a strong dancer. I pay attention to details. I am a wonderful core dancer. You know, all the things that make you hireable. And also, here are all of my materials. I have a post on the Whole Dancer blog that I will link to for 8 cover letter tips, making sure that you're writing a valuable cover letter. And like I said, you're writing a cover letter to every single company with every single submission, whether they ask for it or not. That's a really important piece that is often missing. Finally, I want you to think about what your experience of different companies was. Did some companies give you a very positive experience or feeling? Did some companies give you a very negative experience or feeling? I would highly encourage you to adjust your list based on what those experiences were like, because odds are if the audition experience was good or bad, it probably translates in some capacity to what the actual experience of dancing in that company would be. Now, I don't want you to go extreme and eliminate half of your list, but if you had a really negative feeling from an artistic director, if you thought to yourself, this person is not respectful and doesn't care about my time, or said something belittling to me in this audition, then don't go back. Because only when companies start to feel like they don't have as big of a pool of dancers to choose from, will they perhaps, possibly, potentially at some point, start to shift how they're treating people. This is where it's so hard because I want companies to change now. The ones who are treating dancers poorly, I think they should change now. But they're able to get away with it because we tend to feel desperate in the audition process and just accept being treated poorly. And that's true in our job positions as well as dancers, right? We'll accept poor treatment because we worry so much about not finding other opportunities. Like I said, only when those companies start to feel like they're being impacted and they're not getting as large of a pool of talent will they potentially start to shift how they're treating people. So I want you to think about valuing yourself and approaching auditions not from a place of desperation, but a place of possibility and potential and joy and like looking for what is beautiful out there and making sure that you're having experiences, even in the audition process, that feel supportive and a positive shift. I'm going to give a shout out to Pittsburgh Ballet Theater's new artistic director, because one of my clients who went to audition for that company said it was the first time she felt respected in an audition. I mean, and she's 24 or 25, so she's been auditioning a lot. And for her to say that was the first time she felt respected, I mean, thank goodness, finally. But that's the kind of feeling you should have in an audition, is that you're respected and valued and your time matters to them and they see your work regardless of whether you're the right fit for the job or the company or not. Start to create your list for next year's audition season now. Create your list, think about the things you need to film, and prepare yourself in a way that feels easy and productive and proactive, because it's only going to help once you get into the process to be more at ease through the journey. Audition coaching is something I love to do. It's something that shifts my own perspective from the body and food challenges, which I love to talk about and support dancers with as well, because I know what an impact having a positive experience with those things can have. But auditioning and supporting you in your career is, again, one of my very favorite things to do. And if you're looking for support now for the audition process, send me an email or set up a complimentary coaching call, because Balanced Life Wellness Coaching is a 6-month coaching program where we'll meet weekly for 6 months. And right now, to get prepared for next audition season, you're going to go into it feeling confident and mentally strong and just really at ease. So you can actually enjoy the process. Crazy. That's it for today. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment. How might you shift your audition approach for next year based on what I shared, or based on your own experience? I'd love to hear those things as well. Thank you again so much for tuning in. Make sure you're subscribed to the Whole Dancer YouTube channel, and I'll catch you next time.